What up guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm gonna be doing something a little different than what we usually do here. RL's currently taking a nap, so I figured what better time than to get out here and put some work in on the blocks flyer. So today I'm gonna be doing a little bit of like a progress video on a new trick I'm working on. And that trick is a 180 tire spin to scuff, I guess you'd call it. Basically, I get on the front pegs, do a 180 with the handlebars and tire, and then start scuffing on the wheel, try to get the bike to roll out of it. Now, I am just starting to learn this trick, been working on it for about 1 or 2 days here, so really new at it, have nothing of it down yet. But I thought it'd be cool to show you guys kind of the progress of myself going through and learning the trick. Now, I'm hoping that by the end of this video, I can at least pull it off one time where I roll out of it and get back to the pedals and seat and then keep riding, but we'll see, who knows. Now, before I get into the video, you guys are probably thinking to yourselves, wow, the blocks flyer looks a little different than usual, and you are correct. Reason being is I actually put some front pegs on the bike as of recently, and we got front brakes. So RL and I put the Odyssey M pegs on the front, had to grind them out a little bit so that they would fit. And then RL and I also designed and added some front brake brackets to the forks so that we could now run the HS33s by Magura on the front forks here of the bike, or on the forks. So now I've got front and rear HS33 hydraulic rim brakes by Magura, which is very sweet. And now, let's give you guys the good side of the bike. Now, I would say this thing's really well set up from what I've been reading about for not just doing wheelies, but for flatland. Now, I'm still learning wheelies, of course, but the gearing and the brakes and everything, the way we have it set up, it's really made it a lot easier for myself to learn on the bike for wheelies and peg wheelies, to be honest. So as I was saying, this whole video is just gonna be about myself and my progress working on this new scuffing trick. I'm gonna be coming out here every day during RL's nap time, so we'll see what kind of progress I can make while he's asleep. One more thing before we get started, I wanna remind you guys to visit rlosborn.com. Got the link right there on the screen for you all. And check out the shop tab. That's where we have all our merch for sale. Just released the Ring of Fire line, which everyone's really stoked on, so be sure to check that out. And now, if you guys have already subscribed to our channel and liked the video, we're gonna get into it. All right, let's do it. What up guys? So we are now back here for day 2 of this progress report for the new trick that I'm working on. Now, before we get into today's practice session, I wanted to go over some of the things I learned in yesterday's video. So a lot of these tips came from RL while he was watching me ride and seeing the different things I was trying out to get the trick down. The biggest thing that he said, which I tried and right away I noticed a huge difference, that was stop locking the brake up. You just want to kind of feather or just tap the brake a little bit when you're going from the position of being on the side pegs to the 180 in both feet on the front, or you're starting your scuff. So what I was doing is I would be rolling into it and then I'd kind of lock up the brake and start my spin, then try to let go of the brake and start scuffing. And what happens there is you just lose all of your momentum And once that happens, it's really hard to balance the bike and it just kind of wants to fall right over. So what RL suggested is, instead of locking up that brake, kind of keep your roll going and just feather the brake a little bit so it helps you keep your balance, but you don't take all your momentum away. So what I noticed is once I started doing that, first of all, you do spin a lot faster, so be ready for that. But what happens is once you come out of that spin, your bike wants to just keep rolling instead of coming to a complete stop like it was for me before. So that makes it a lot easier when it just wants to roll on your own, because then you've already got the momentum going in your favor, and all you gotta do is then start with the scuffing to keep it going. Now, sounds a lot easier when you're saying it than doing it. I'm still working on it, but I did notice a huge difference once I started using that technique. Another thing that really helps is I was trying to figure out the best spot for putting my foot, or the best spot on the peg for my foot. And if you guys notice, I got my dad socks on today. But anyways, so I found right on the ball of your foot seems to be the best spot for myself. Gives me a little bit more control of the handlebars, and I can move them around a little more easily, where before, when I was trying to just basically go on the arch of my foot, I think it's called, you're way less mobile there, and it almost feels like you're stiff and kind of stuck in that position. You can't really move the bike around as easily. That's what I noticed personally. So that was my second tip for working on this trick. My third and final one that I learned during my session yesterday was start the scuffing as soon as possible. And that's something RL kept telling me over and over again. And what I mean by that is pretty much like once your wheel's like right about here, you can really start get your foot on there and start, scuffing to get the wheel going even more. So I'm still working on that as well, but that's something RL was really harping on yesterday, along with the brakes. So that's all I really have to say before I get into it today. Again, this is day 2 of the progress report, so let's get started. All right, guys, you're gonna want to check this out.
Got a case of the scuffed leg. The tire is wearing.
All right, guys, we're back here for day 3 of the progress report on me learning the new scuffing trick. We're out here today with little Brookie, and no real tips or new pointers to share with you guys. I will say, though, feels like I'm starting to make some good progress. I've noticed more consistently I'm staying on the pegs after that 180, and I'm also starting to more consistently get those long rolls or longer rolls on the front wheel. So very excited about the progress so far. It feels like starting to nail it down a little bit on the first part. Haven't really been working on the final step or how I'm gonna land it and ride out. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's get into today's update report. All right, so we're back for day 5 now of the trick progress report. Real quick before I get started, I wanted to mention a new tip that I learned that's helping a lot. Not just with this trick, but I'm gonna say it's probably gonna be helpful with most flatland tricks. And what that is riding on a smooth, flat surface. So in the last few clips you guys have seen, I've been in the garage riding. Reason being is RL has put down a nice, smooth linoleum flooring in here, which makes it really easy to do your flatland tricks and just ride in general. So I'm gonna keep working in here as well as out here on the pavers just so that I get that work on an unstable or a unsmooth surface. It does help. And then yeah, we're just gonna keep the progress report going. Gonna do a little work on the bike today. Just have to adjust the levers. They're a little low. And I have the seat down right now, but that's just a quick, easy thing to do. So I guess that's pretty much it. So let's get into it. I actually wanted to say one more thing, and that is a big shout out to Ride Out Supply. Just got their, I don't even know what you call it. It's just the seat post clamp, but it's the lever adjusted one instead of having to screw it down or tighten it with the Allen wrench. Makes it way easier, quick adjust. And I just always love getting stuff from Ride Out Supply. They always send a cool letter, a cool message in the box along with stickers and whatnot, free bands. So I always want to shout out the guys over at Ride Out Supply. Okay, so we're back here now for day 8 of the progress report on my scuffing trick. And today I'm actually gonna start working on the landing or how I'm gonna finish the trick and ride out of it. So I had RL show me yesterday, had a few practice runs trying it out. I don't have it down yet, but I'm gonna show you guys how far I've progressed with that part of the trick in today's update. So I'm gonna show you really quickly on here just a kind of a walkthrough of how I'm trying to do this. So normally I come into the trick, turned this way, I'm on the pegs. So now what I'm gonna do to finish the trick and land it is I'm gonna slow the bike down, kind of hop on the pegs, turn the wheel, and then I've been jamming my foot up here, getting my foot up here in against, I guess, the seat tube, where the top tube meets the seat tube. And then I take my left foot and finish spinning around. I put it on the pedal, try and ride out of it. RL had me doing it where it's like, once I have my foot, my right foot up here, I kind of lock the brakes up and lean back off the front wheel, do a little turn and then ride out of it. So we'll see if I can do that. One thing I will mention is I had to turn the quick release mount for my seat post around because the lever was pointing this way. So every time I tried to jam my foot in there, I was kicking it out and unlocking the seat. So once I turned it around, that fixed it. Now it's working just fine. So another thing is my knee, I've been riding a lot lately, so my knee's getting pretty sore. Tore the ACL and meniscus in here, like probably almost 10 years ago now. So I got my old bones therapy brace on. That does help alleviate a lot of the pain, but we'll see, it might be a short session, I don't know. But I just wanted to give you guys an update that I am now starting to work on the landing of the trick. Wanted to show you what it looked like, and I'm gonna do a little practice right now, see what we get. right, so as you guys can see, I am pretty much soaking wet right now, but just wanted to say thank you guys for watching, sticking through this whole progress report video. I'm pretty stoked on where I have come so far on the trick. Feel like I'm starting to get it down. Again, I don't have it wired completely, but I do have the basic components of it. So as you saw, I was able to land it. Now my goal is to start expanding and moving into new, more advanced tricks off of this one. Seems like this kind of scuffing move is a lead into a lot of different flatland tricks. So very stoked to kind of have that base level trick in the quiver. All right guys, so that concludes the overall progress report on me learning this trick. Like I said, I'm gonna start expanding on it, but I just wanna thank you guys again for watching, and I'm also gonna get RL to start doing his own progress report on a different trick. So be on the lookout for seeing something about that soon.